Greetings to you. I hope I find you well. Mama Tsitsi here. Today, I welcome you to Women Crush It with Hope. If it's not your first time to join me, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. That's encouragement. So today, I want to talk about the topic, build up, don't tear it down. Build up, don't tear it down. Women of dignity, women of standard, women of quality. Proverbs 31 kind of women. They crush it with hope. They are hopeful women. They believe in hope, in anchoring in Christ Jesus. They crush down the head of the serpent. So today I want to talk about Delilah. We want to see what can we learn from Delilah. Not a good model, I hope. We wouldn't be, what can I say? Delilah is not someone we can call a good model to us. She is one of the bad girls from the Bible. Mention the name Delilah even to a non-believer. I promise you they know who Delilah is and what she is known about. She is not a good model. She is a bad girl from the Bible. But there is something that we can learn from here. As I was studying Delilah, there are things that I found out that we can learn from here as women. Let's read from Judges chapter 16, verse 4 to 5. I'm reading from the New King James Version. Now Samson went to Gaza and saw a harlot there and went into her. When the Gazanites were told Samson has come here, they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the gate of the city. They were quiet all night, saying, in the morning when it is daylight, we'll kill him. And Samson lay low till midnight. Then he arose at midnight, took hold of the doors of the gate of the city, and the two gateposts, put them up, bar and all, put them on his shoulders, and carried them to the top of the hill that faces Hebron. And afterward it happened that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up to her and said, entice him and find out where his great strength lies, and by what means we may empower him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And every one of us will give you 1,100 of silver. So here we are reading the story of Samson. This is the woman that Samson fell in love with, named Delilah. And she accepted money from the Philistine officials to betray Samson. We are not going to summarize the whole story for the sake of our time. So Samson was being used by God to deliver Israelites from the hand of the Philistines. Samson had miraculous supernatural strength. So the Philistines couldn't overpower Samson. So Delilah accepted, number one, she accepted bribe from the Philistines to find out where does the source of strength of Samson, where does it come from? What is his source of power? So the deal was for Delilah to play undercover and find out this secret. When she found the secret, it was after 3 attempts. On the 4th attempt, she found out the secret. Judges chapter 16 on verse 18, Samson was chained and imprisoned. And from there, the Philistines were able to overpower Samson. So let's go right away. What lessons can we learn from Delilah? Number one, Delilah didn't value God's call upon Samson. Delilah didn't value God's call upon Samson. So that's the same scenario with us wives, with us women. Some of these men that we are married to, we are in relationship with, that are going to marry us, they have a calling of God upon their lives. Some are called to be prophets, apostles, teachers, worshippers, whatever calling they are called to operate in. That's number one. Number two, every man is the head of the house. Therefore, they are priests to serve in their own families, to lead their own families. They have a calling of leading their families to be priests. So a wife values her husband's call. A wife values her husband's call as a priest, as a leader. Before any other calling, your husband just got a calling to be the priest of the house. A good wife values the calling of her husband before we go to any other callings that your husband might have. Number two, a wife can tear down her husband in a way that no one else can. The Philistines couldn't tear down Samson in a very long time. They tried many tricks, they couldn't. But when Delilah comes, if you read verse 15, she said to Samson, how can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and you have not told me where your great strength lies. So a woman with a sweet voice can destroy a husband in a way that no other person can. Some men, their hope have been shattered. They don't want to see a woman again. Not to sleep with them, no, I mean to marry and have a beautiful family. Why? Because they were once married or they were once in a relationship and a woman crushed down their hope, crushed down their spirit. Because a woman can build you up or a woman can tear you down. So women, unlike Delilah, let's be women. We build men up and nurture their hope as priests, as husbands, as fathers. Samson was brought to a position of no strength. Samson was brought to a position of blindness. And at the end, he made a decision on his own. Samson made a decision to sacrifice himself whilst destroying the enemies of the Israelites. But it wasn't supposed to be like that. Samson was supposed to destroy the Israelites without him being the sacrifice. Already he was the sacrifice, that he was not cutting his hair. But now he had to his life was ended whilst the Israelites' enemies were also defeated. But that wasn't the case from the start. So women, we can make men sacrifice themselves in a way that can also destroy them completely if you are not a supportive woman. Okay. As a woman, you are supposed to nurture hope in your husband. Reflect your influence in his life. As a woman, don't tear up, build up your husband. Maybe you are not married now, but even your husband to be, don't tear up, build up. Delilah would have protected Samson, but she didn't. As a wife, are you encouraging your husband? Delilah was greed. As a wife, you are not supposed to be that great. She accepted bride in exchange for her husband. Delilah was deceitful. She deceived her husband to get something out of him. Delilah was very disloyal. She was not loyal to her husband. She didn't keep her husband's secret. Some things husbands, they end up hiding them from us because of the kind of women that we are. As a woman, it's your duty and role to promote openness in marriage as well, in as much as it's also from the men's side, it's also their duty. But as a woman, it's also my duty to protect my husband's dignity by keeping some things away from people, because that's how people can get away with your husband and harm him. As a woman and a wife, I'm not supposed to be selfish. She only thought of herself and the money that she was going to make and the slave queen that she was going to become afterwards. But she didn't think of Samson and be selfless. As a woman, you're not supposed to be a manipulator. She manipulated her husband when she asked her husband, "You don't love me? Isn't it that you have lied to me all this while and made a mockery of me?" Last but not least, as a woman, are you encouraging your husband in a positive way? Are you faithful to your husband's calling and purpose? Are you faithful and loyal to his calling as the priest of your home? Are you not devaluing God's plan for lesser things? So, as a hopeful woman, you crush the head of the serpent with hope. Nurture hope in your husband's life. Nurture hope in your husband's calling. Nurture hope in your own home. Crush it with hope. Don't forget to anchor in Christ, where hope is renewed. Until next time, thank you so much and goodbye.